Good morning everyone. So in the last class I have completed the design of fixed portal frame. Okay. So today let me take up a new topic, that is the slab type combined footing. In the earlier classes I have done the slab and beam type combined footing. Yes or no? So now I will be taking the slab type combined footing. Okay, particularly for VTU students, observe here, particularly for VTU students, concentrate on the slab type combined footing. If in the examination, if they ask you people, design the combined footing without mentioning whether it is a beam or beam and slab type. So if they just mention design a combined footing, it is always the slab type combined footing. So beam and slab type also important, but for VTU students, slab type is very important. Okay, so that's why I am taking the slab type combined footing also. So let me take a question. So what do you mean by the slab type combined footing? So the beam won't be there, that is the difference. So in beam and slab type, as the name itself indicate, it is the inclusive of the beam as well as the slab. As this is the slab type combined footing, there won't be any beam, it will be only the slab portion. Okay, so now let me take a problem. Now let me take a problem. So this is the question that I have taken to explain you people the design of slab type combined footing. Okay, so two rectangular columns 300 mm into 300 mm and 500 mm into 500 mm in size carry an axial load of 600 kilonewton and 850 kilonewton respectively. These columns are spaced at 3.5 meter center to center. So 3.5 meter center to center. The SBC of the soil is 150 kilonewton per meter square, full stop. The property line is 0.8 meter from the center of the first column. Use M20 grade concrete and FE415 grade steel. Design the footing as slab type combined footing. So once again I am telling, so whenever they don't mention the slab type word, okay, if they just mention the combined footing, it is always the slab type combined footing. Okay, so especially for VTU students, concentrate on slab type combined footing. Okay, so let me solve the problem now. So as usual, as it is a footing, I want the spacing of bars. If I want the spacing of bars, I want the AST, area of steel. So how much steel you people will be providing? How much it bends based on that. So bending moment. How much bending moment takes place? How much you apply the load? How much load is applying? It depends on the dimensions. Okay, so that's why I will be starting with the dimensions. Before that, what are all the data that they have given? Let me write down that. First one, so the following are the data that they have given it in the question. So what about the size of the first column? So first column size is 300 mm into 300 mm. So the second column, and observe here, what is the load carried by the first column? So the load carried by the first column is, I think it's 600 kilonewton and 850. So for first one it is 600 kilonewton. Okay, so if I go with the second column, so the second column size is 500 mm into 500 mm. And the load carried by it is 850 kilonewton. 850 kilonewton. Okay, so what is the SBC of the soil that they have given? So SBC of the soil is given as 150 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, they have told to use M20 grade concrete and FE415 grade steel. M20 grade of concrete and FE415 grade steel. So few minutes before I told you that, so I will be starting with the dimensions of the footing or the size of the footing. So let me take up the second heading. It is the size of the footing. It is the size of the footing. In beam and slab type combined footing also I followed the same procedure. Okay, I will be comparing this particular slab type with the beam and slab type so that you people will be having what is the difference between these two designs. Okay, so now, so the size of the footing. So size means I want the length, I want the width and I want the depth. So I think you people know if I want to calculate the dimensions, so what is the load that is coming on it? So based on that I need to provide the dimensions. I know what is the load that is coming. So observe here, they have given what are all the loads that is coming on the column. So that column load needs to be transferred to the footing. So that's why, so observe here, so total column loads, total column loads. It is nothing but the load from column A 600 plus load from column B. So it is 850. So total it is 1450 kilonewton. Yes or no? So next, I think you people know that. So self weight of the column also needs to be taken into picture. So let us assume self weight of column. Self weight of column. So how much we need to assume? So it is 10% of total column load. 10% of total column load. Yes or no? So what is the 10% of total column load? It's 145 kilonewton. So what is the total load now? So the total load that is coming on the structure is 1595 kilonewton. So 1595 kilonewton. So now I want to calculate the area of the footing. I think you people know that stress is equal to load by area. I want to calculate the dimensions. I will be going with area is equal to load by stress. Stress is nothing but the SBC. Okay, so now what I will be doing is in the next line, so it is the area of footing. It is the area of footing. Okay, so now, so how to calculate the area of footing? So area is equal to load, total load by SBC of the soil. So what is the total load? Area I know, it is length into breadth. What is the total load that is coming? 1595 kilonewton divided by what is the SBC? So it's 150 kilonewton per meter square. So finally we will be left out with L into B is equal to 10.63 meter square. 10.63 meter square. Let me call this as equation 1 for time being. In beam and slab type combined footing, so what we have done? So there we have assumed the breadth. There I told you people that from 1.2 to 1.8 you assume some breadth value. So there we have assumed 1.5 meter. Yes or no? So here let us not assume it. Why, sir? The reason is, observe here, in the question, okay, they have given, so from the edge of the footing to the center of the first column, they have given the projection P1. Please remember, whenever they have given the idea about the projection or the value of one particular projection, there is no need to assume the breadth. Even in this particular question, if they don't give the projection value, then you would have assumed, so breadth. I think you people are understanding. So please remember, beam and slab type almost same. Okay, so please remember, so there we have assumed the breadth because they have not given any information about the projection, but here they have given some information about the projection. Whenever they give information about the projection, no need to assume the length and breadth. So that's why what I will be writing here is, I will be writing it as a note. Do not assume Do not assume the width of footing as projection information is given. Information is given. So and then what to do? So let me continue further. Let me rub this. So I got what is L into B? It is 10.63 mm square. Yes or no? In the size of the footing itself. Okay. So second step, it was the size of the footing. Under that only I will be doing. So to find projections. Sir, you only told that they have given the information about the projections. Yes, observe here. I will be writing a drawing. So let me assume that it's a rectangular footing. I don't know the length. I don't know the breadth for time being. Yes or no? They have given two columns. But in beam and slab type, what I have done? I have drawn two horizontal line because beam was also there, but here it is not there. So now what I will be doing? I will be dividing it into two equal parts. So keeping this as a reference. So I will be drawing a column here. And it is 300 by 300 mm column. Be careful. And from the center of this particular column, okay, I know the distance. They have only given. So what they have given in the question? Because they have given the P1 projection value, please remember. They have given the P1 projection value. So what is that particular value? It's 0.8 meter from the boundary line till the center of the first column. So it is 0.8 meter. Okay, so there is one more column, 500 by 500, yes or no? So there is one more column, so it is 500 by 500. So it's a bigger one. So this is 300 by 300 mm. This is 500 by 500 mm. And one more thing, don't you think that, let me write it above. They have given the center to center distance. So what is the center to center distance that they have given? So it's 3.5 meters center to center. Okay. So now I'm still in need of P2, projection 2. In beam and slab type, I was not knowing P1, I was not knowing P2. So that's why I assumed the breadth. But here as I know P1, I will not be assuming any value. So now what I will be doing is, I think you people know that. So the load that is coming on this structure is 600 kilonewton. The load that is coming on this particular structure is 850 kilonewton. 850 kilonewton. So for uniform, same procedure as beam and slab type. For uniform upward soil pressure, CG of footing should coincide with CG of columns. So for uniform soil pressure distribution, the CG of the columns should coincide with the CG of the footing. Okay, so what I will be doing is, I want to calculate this distance. Same procedure as beam and slab type. I will be calling it as X bar. Okay, so first let me calculate X bar. How to calculate X bar? Okay, so to calculate X bar, we know the formula. So how many loads are there? Two loads. So it's W1 into X1 plus W2 into X2 divided by W1 plus W2. So now I know what is W1. I will be taking moment about this particular junction itself. So on the centroid of this particular column only I am taking. So force as it is acting on that point itself, the distance will be 0. So x1 value will be 0. Yes or no? So x1 value will be 0. Okay. Just a minute. Okay. X1 value will be 0. And then observe here, so what I will be doing? So W1 600, x1 is 0 plus, what about W2? I want moment about this point. So it is force into this distance. So 850 into, what is this distance? 3.5. So 850 into 3.5. So x2 is 3.5 divided by 600 plus 850. After solving this, we are getting the value of x bar. So what is the value of x bar? So the value of x bar that we are getting here is 2.05. It's 2.05 meter. Okay, I calculated the value of x bar now. Now will you people accept that? So P1 plus x bar, don't you think that it is nothing but equal to L by 2? So what I will be doing is, so from figure, okay, so P1 plus x bar is equal to L by 2. I know what is P1. So P1 is 0.8. I know what is x bar. So it's 2.05 is equal to L by 2. So now after solving this, the value of L that we are getting here is, so the value of L that we are getting here is 5.7 meter. It's 5.7 meter. Okay. So breadth we have not assumed it. Still we need to calculate the breadth. So what I will be doing from equation 1. So what was the value? Length into breadth is equal to 10.63 meters square. Yes or no? So now what will happen? Length I have calculated. So it's 5.7. Breadth, let me calculate it, is equal to 10.63. So the value of breadth that we are getting here is, so the value of breadth that we are getting here is, so it's 1.86. Let me say 1.9 meter. It's 1.86 meter approximately. Let me make it as 1.9 meter. Okay. So finally the length into breadth we got it. Okay. So provide length into breadth. So length is 5.7 meter into, what is the breadth? So it's 1.9 meter. So we have calculated the length and breadth. Okay. But don't you think that I am still in the need of P2 value, because P1 I know. Okay. I don't know the value of P2. So let me go with, to find P2. To find P2. How to calculate that? So don't you think that I got the entire length? So L is nothing but equal to P1 plus 3.5 plus P2. So from figure, okay, so P1 plus 3.5 plus P2 is equal to L. I know the value of P1, it's 0.8 meter plus 3.5 plus P2 I don't know. I can calculate it. Length, just now I have calculated, it's 5.7. So after solving it, the projection 2, the value of projection 2 is 1.4 meter. It's 1.4 meter. It's 1.4 meter. So don't you think that we have calculated the projections? I have calculated the length and breadth. Still I am in need of the thickness of the footing or the depth of the footing. That I will be doing a little bit later. Okay. So now what I will be doing is, okay, so I want to calculate the depth. If I want to know the depth, so what is the bending moment that is coming on the structure? So how much it bends, based on that I will be providing the depth. So before that what I will be doing is, let me calculate, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction from the soil. So what is the net upward soil pressure that is coming on the structure? Okay, so let me rub this. So the next one is, under the size of the footing itself, net upward soil pressure. Net upward soil pressure. I will be calling it as Q naught. It is only the column load, only column load. Why we need to consider only column load? I have already explained in beam and slab type. So only column load, procedure is same. So divided by area. So what was the column load? 1450 kilonewton divided by area. Area just now we have calculated, it's 5.7 into 1.9. So after solving it, the value that we are left out with is 133.9 kilonewton per 133.9 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, so now I need to start with the SFD and BMD. So after that I will be going with the depth calculation, because how much depth I need to provide, so it depends on how much it bends. I am following the same procedure as the beam and slab type. So nothing else I am doing. Okay, for any clarification you can go and check with the beam and slab type combined footing video. Okay, so for today's session we'll wind up. I will be continuing it in the next class. Thank you.